Let's go to, who is it who wants to speak over here? Please identify yourself.
Michael Ratner. I'm the president of the Center for Constitutional Rights in New York. We represent the Guantanamo detainees as well as Maher Arar, who was in the film. And I want to address briefly the question that was raised about torture and how dismayed I've been really over the last 5 years to see the dialogue in this country and the beginning acceptance of the willingness to use torture. And it's unfortunately continuing when President Bush talked about the secret sites and said we want to continue to use rough tactics. When asked about the rough tactics, he refused to answer, but of course we know what some of those are. One of them is, in particular, is waterboarding, which is a classic, drowning of a person and then lifting them up and then drowning until they finally say something. Whether it's the truth or not is another question, but that's what was being used. It's clearly torture. To me, I'm just appalled by it, both because it's illegal, it's immoral, and a lot of the time it doesn't work. And one of the best examples, of course, we have is al-Libi, who was the man who supposedly said that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction, that they've been giving those to al-Qaeda, biological weapons, and was one of the underpinnings, supposedly, of the war against Iraq. So it's extremely, extremely dangerous. My own clients at Guantanamo Bay, Tipton 3, after 6 months of various chained to the floor, stripping, hooding, kinds of stuff that were talked about in the film, they confessed to being trained by Osama bin Laden in the El Farouk training camp. Of course, that didn't happen. They were actually in England at the time that supposedly took place. So from a moral point of view, from a legal point of view, from an effective point of view, I'm really shocked by the fact that in this country we are still hearing about it, and within the next 2 weeks, apparently, Congress will be voting on legislation to essentially abrogate parts of Article 3 of the Geneva Convention so that they can continue, this administration can continue waterboarding. It's appalling.